Hello and welcome to another Q&A. This will be the Cockatiel Edition because surprise surprise, after I told you that I have a cockatiel, I got a couple of cockatiel questions. And you can hear Mr. Dipshit in the background. He is screaming right now. That's because we watched a movie together and now I left him. And because I'm talking, he won't shut up. Okay, that's the first thing. If your cockatiel likes to scream, you just have to be quiet and ignore him. Just ignore him. Because if you respond to that, he realizes that, oh, if I scream, I get attention. That's bad. Okay, that's a really bad thing to teach your cockatiel. So, I got a couple of cockatiel questions, and I won't cut out any of the screaming. No, I will not. Is that right, Mr. Dipshit? Yes, it is. He's cleaning his feathers, so he might shut up. Okay, so the first question is, I have a cockatiel. He is not hand-trained. How do I hand-train him? Well, first of all, I just want to say that every bird comes either hand-trained or he's not hand-trained, you know? So the two things. You might actually get a bird that is hand-trained, in which case, good for you. You have to get the cockatiel to trust you. And that takes a lot of effort. You know, for instance, when I first got Dipshit, before he started eating from my hand, what you need to do is you need to clear the cage. No food in the cage, and if he wants to eat, he has to get it from you. Now, this works better with cockatiels that have clipped flight feathers, so they can't fly. So they already realize that they are dependent on you. But if you leave food in the cage, the cockatiel knows that he is not dependent on you. He can survive in that cage. So take all the food from the cage. And for me, it was 3 hours sitting in front of the cage with my hand in the cage and food in the hand. 3 hours, and after that, he actually started picking up seeds and eating them. And from that, it's easier, you know. The next time you're gonna feed him, it's gonna take less time. Now, for me, it was 3 hours up front before he was like, that thing is probably okay, you know, it's not gonna bite me or something. So he started eating. After that, I think it took like 15 minutes, and already he ate all the seeds from my hand. So it gets easier, but for the first time, prepare yourself. You know, arm yourself with a drink, and maybe watch a movie, and you just have to sit in front of the cage with your hand in the cage, and you can't move the hand because that will scare him, and you're boned. Now, one thing: cockatiels are not fighters. Okay, they like to run away or fly away. They don't like to fight or bite. But there is one time when they will bite. Okay, if you're a cockatiel, if you have a new cockatiel and he's not hand trained, if you approach him and if you put your hand in the cage and he basically tugs his feathers and becomes really slim, looks really, really slim, be scared. He might actually bite you really hard. Okay, that's when they're terrified. Okay, when a cockatiel is terrified, he will tuck his feathers in and he will appear very slim. Relaxed cockatiel has kind of loose feathers, you know, relaxed, and he looks a lot more fluffy. He's a lot fluffier. And if he's really terrified, he will tuck all his feathers in and he will look really, really tight. So, you know, be really careful about that. Now, if he looks really thin and he has all his feathers tucked in, you probably should take your hand out of the cage because he might bite you. Other than that, it's much easier to, once again, trade them if they have clipped feathers, because then they depend on you for movement. They can't fly around the room, which is something I didn't want to do with Dipshit. I like him just flying around. You know, if he wants to get somewhere, he can fly there. But it makes it harder for you to hand train them because obviously they can fly away and they are not dependent on you. If they want to get somewhere, they can get there, you know. And if he has clipped feathers, he can't get there. So he knows that if he wants to get on top of a wardrobe or something, he needs to step up onto your finger and you need to move him there. So if he has clipped feathers, it's much easier for you to train them. Now, another type of hand training is sort of a step-up command where you just put him down, you put a finger in front of him, and you gently rub his belly, and you say a command. You know, it doesn't really matter. I have a the very standard step up. You just slightly rub his belly and you say step up. Now, this is really hard with birds that don't have clipped feathers, because for the first couple of days, every time you get anywhere near them, they will fly away most of the time. Okay, so when you touch their belly, they're like, holy shit, I'm out of here, and they fly away. So it will take some time. Once again, clipped feathers, really good thing. If you think that you don't have the time or the patience, just clip their feathers. And if I were to recommend something, clip only the first four feathers. Because if you tell your vet to clip more, like a full-on wing clip, full-on fly feather clip, they will fall down like a rock. Okay, if you clip only the four feathers, they can still glide. They can't fly, but they can glide. So if they fall off of something, like a wardrobe, they will just glide slowly to the floor. But they won't fly away. They can't fly, okay? But gliding, good. So clip first four flight feathers for them, if you want to. So yeah, just a lot of patience. This bird, if you get a bird like a cockatiel or any other bird, that bird doesn't trust you. Especially if he's not hand trained, he doesn't know what the fuck that is. Do not, I repeat, do not catch your bird with your hand. It's like you sitting in front of a computer and suddenly a massive hand coming through the window, picking you up and flailing you around. It's really scary, okay? Some people got actually upset that I dry him out with a towel. Okay, and then he hates me, he's scared. He's not scared. He knows what's happening. When I talk to him, when I just catch him and I start rubbing him, that would be bad. But I gently, get him. He's sitting on my leg or something, and I gently, tuck him into a towel, and I gently dry him out. It's not me tucking him in a towel and spinning him around like a madman. I gently dry him out. Now, so there you go, you idiots. I really don't get it. Hey, you're hurting your bird with that. Yeah, I'm hurting my bird with helping him survive. If I don't do that, he will get cold and he might die. Brilliant advice. Okay. Next, how do I get my bird to talk? I have a cockatiel and he does not want to talk. Well, this asshole doesn't like to talk either. I've had him for 4 years, but it's probably mostly because I just whistle at him. I do sounds. When he's calling flock call, I think it's called. Because one thing you need to understand, right? When you have a bird, when you get a bird, you're not a human and a bird. Okay? You don't have a bird and a human. You have a bird and then a really big weird bird, which is you. Now, he thinks that you're a big weird bird that can do funny noises. He doesn't know that you're a human. You're a big funny bird that can make nice noises. And you need to kind of understand that. Okay? So for instance, Dipshit, when he can't see me, he will do the same sound he's doing throughout the entire video. And I have to respond with, that's my call back. That calms him down. Okay? When he can't see me, he will scream and I will go, and he's calm. See? He's now quiet. If I shut up for too long, or if I talk too much, he thinks I'm not paying attention to him because I'm turned this way. There we go. That's the call right there. But right now, he just wants attention because he's attention whore, isn't he? Now, when he's screaming like this, don't nurture it like I do, because he will keep screaming, because screaming equals attention. That's not good. That's a really bad matter to teach your bird. So, what was the question? I forgot. Bloody hell. Yeah, talking. So, the way to get any bird to talk, pretty much, is to just talk to him. Okay? Once again, if you're hand training him, when you get him and you're hand training him, instead of... What are you doing? He really wants some attention. Then come out of the cage and fly around. Dumbass. Instead of whistling at him, just talk to him, Simple words. Like when you're putting him back to the cage, say home. Or when you're feeding him, say food, When he comes to you and takes food out of your hand, say food. and he will understand that, and he will kind of connect it with, food equals yummy yummy in the hand, and you kind of need to repeat it to him all the bloody time, and eventually he will start repeating it after you, because once again he thinks you're a big weird bird, so he thinks it's normal, and he will start repeating it after you. Some birds, of course, are easier to teach how to talk, but you can do it with pretty much every bird, as long as they're intelligent enough and you keep repeating to them. Don't go, baby, have the snack or have a treat. No, you can't use full sentences because that's just too much gibberish. Just go, food, like a dumbass. Instead of, here, baby, have a treat, go, food. And that's enough. And eventually you might hear your bird trying basically to say food the way you say it. Usually when birds learn to talk, it kind of reminds people of how the owner says it, because they're learning it from you. So if you keep saying food, the bird will try to make the noise as similar as he can to what he hears from you. Okay? So just keep repeating simple words to them. Don't go, oh, baby, have a treat. As I've said, just go, food, and give him a treat. And he will realize that. Or when you walk up to him, you don't, the flock call doesn't have to be like I have. You can just go, hello. And eventually, your bird will catch it up, and he's like, oh, when I call for him, he says hello. Maybe I could say hello to him. That will fuck him up, wouldn't it? So yeah, that's how birds work. They're simple, You can't think about them as humans. They are birds. You just can't. It's like a dog, People who treat dogs like people usually have really shitty dogs. They're either spoiled or they bark, and they're usually not well mannered. You have to treat him like a bird because he's a fucking bird. The same way you treat a dog. You treat him like a dog, not like a human. So just treat your bird like a bird, not like a human. So yeah, those are the 2 questions that I got about cockatiels. I hoped I answered your questions and you're happy with my answers. And yeah, and I'm also sorry that this Q&A was not MMO related or WoW related or anything, It was just about dipshit, wasn't it? Yes, quite. So yeah, today I don't know what it is. I made the parody top 5 profession class combos, which I find very amusing. But then I tried to make a video about pay to win in MMOs, FPS and RPGs, and after 5 minutes of a video, I thought I might make it around 10 minutes. After 5 minutes, I was just like, I don't like this. This is bullshit. I don't like it, and I deleted it. So I was just like, god damn, I really want to get out another video because tomorrow is Sunday, and on Sunday I'm not doing videos. So I really wanted 2 videos out, so I decided to make a Q&A. And that's it. So, yeah, I'm sorry for the lack of content. You got 1 very short parody video, and then Q&A about cocks. That's content for you.